Hey guys, alright. Part 3. Sorry, just gonna move just a little bit. There we go. Part 3. Remakes. You look at remakes now, and you obviously see people trying to compare things to the original. I, for one, when I know a movie's being remade, I like to see the original. And not because I want to compare the two, because I just want to see the original. But most people, when they see an original, when they find out a movie's being remade, they look at it and they're like, oh, I just want to see the original so I know what they fuck up. I'm not like that. You know, if I seen the original movie, like Friday the 13th, I saw the original before, even way before the movie was remade. And obviously the new one that was remade this year, it wasn't really a remake. It was more of a reboot. And you can take that word wherever you pronounce it, because when you say remake, reimagining, it's a reboot. It's a remake. It's basically that's the same fucking word. Sorry, I know I was swearing a lot. But I didn't go in there, looking at, oh, let's see what they messed up. Ooh, let's see what they changed. I went in open-minded. I do the same thing with video game movies. I do the same thing with movies being remade from, movies being made from books. If it's being remade from something that I know or that people won't know very well, I go in open-minded to see a movie. I don't go in to see what they changed or what they've replaced or any stuff like that. I don't do that. I think people do that because they want drama in their lives and they want to bash, and that will lead. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a video on that next time. Bashing on horror movies, because that's something that really bothers me. Anyway, that's for that video. But yeah, a lot of movies now are remade. I can sit here and say all the movies that have been remade, but I'd run out of time. But you look, Friday the 13th, they took parts from part 1, part 2, part 3, and even some elements from part 4. And they made it into all one big movie. And, they tried to pass it off, and some people liked it, some people didn't. It was borderline that. I thought it was okay. I thought it was an okay movie. I didn't think it was awesome. I didn't think it sucked. I thought it was an okay movie, Halloween, don't even get me started on Halloween, because if you know me personally, you know that I hate that movie. Rob Zombie's Halloween, I didn't like it one bit. Sorry. I just didn't like it. I don't know what it was. I should have liked it. I didn't. And now you got Nightmare on Elm Street being remade, another classic, our generation's classic horror movies. And the trailer looks good. I personally, would we rather see Robert Englund being Freddy again? Of course we would, because we love Robert Englund. We know he's Freddy. But I actually don't mind Jackie Earle Haley taking over the role of Freddy. I think if they were going to find anybody, he would be the perfect replacement for Robert Englund. But obviously, you look at that, and you obviously, if you follow the Nightmare on Elm Street series, you can see that they took elements from, not only part 1 but part 2 and 3. I think it was 3. I think I caught something in the trailer that's something related to 3. Obviously in the trailer you see, stuff directly from the first movie. The infamous, glove appearing from the tub sequence, and the skinning of the cat. If you know what that means, then you'll obviously know what I'm talking about. But people are bashing the movie already, and that I'm probably gonna make my bashing video right now next after this. But horror movies, remakes, they're all remade now. The Eye, The Uninvited, and all these other stuff. And now our original horror movies now are Saw, and I don't get the Saw series anymore. I think the Saw series is dead. I think it's been dead. I love the first one. Everybody loved the first Saw. Saw, the first one, that final moment. And if you haven't seen Saw yet, shame on you. But the first one is definitely you should see the first one. Don't let all these sequels and all this, over promotion of Saw cloud your judgment on the series. The first one is by far the best, and I have not seen Saw 4, 5, or 6. I've seen 1, 2, and 3, and I stopped watching after 3 because there's no reason to watch it after 3. There's no reason why there should be a Saw 4, 5, and 6. And they're going to make a 7, and they're going to make an 8. I don't know how long they're going to take the Saw series, but I personally think fans are done with Saw. And if you're still a Saw fan, you just like watching people getting tortured. And if you do, there's something wrong with you. Just saying. So enough of the remake stuff. Now I'm going to get into the whole new concept of first-person view. And not much to say because even though there's a handful of movies of first-person view, people always find something wrong with first-person view. When I say first-person view, I'm talking about Cloverfield. I'm talking about Record, the Spanish one, not the quarantine piece of crap that we all were exposed to. Quarantine, I'm sorry, I like Jennifer Carpenter and Dexter, but I just didn't like that movie. Quarantine was not a shot-by-shot remake. It was not anything like Rec or Record. I can't wait for Record 2 to come out in America, though. Just saying. The Blair Witch Project, which obviously started everything. That was the first movie that I can remember that started the viral marketing campaign of movies like this. Blair Witch Project, loved by everybody. Everybody loves the first one. Then they killed it with the sequel, but what can you do? And now you got Paranormal Activity. I, by far, liked Paranormal Activity. And everybody that complains about, oh my god, the camera shakes too much, get over it. The person's holding a camera. And it just, sorry. I get lost. I get really emotional in making these videos. Especially about bashing. I'll make my bashing video next. Because that's just something that really bothers me. But yeah, I think the first-person view of having it in the horror genre really works. And it works if it's done a certain way, if it's done the right way. Cloverfield, I think, did it well, even though it's not a horror movie. I just bring it up because it brings the concept of the monster into it, and the original horror movies were monster movies. Let's face it. Record did it very well, leaving it ambiguous that you don't know what they are. You don't know what that is. If you've seen Rec, you know what I'm talking about. If you really look into it, you don't really explain what they are. You automatically call them zombies, but they're not really zombies. And Quarantine said they were rabies. That's just bullshit. Sorry. I'm bound to swear. And now you look at Paranormal Activity, and I'm just going to say this. People who are complaining about the shaky camera work in Paranormal Activity, what are you talking about? The camera only shakes because he's holding the camera. He's not a professional camera person. Oh, God. Sorry. Anyway. I don't want to extend this to 4 videos, so I'm just going to finish it off here. I can go on and on about horror movies. I really can. Horror movies is one of my favorite genres. Not my favorite genre. My favorite genre is actually action movies. But horror, by far, I think is slipping down the drain. And I think if we're going to save the horror genre, we should stop remaking movies from Japan, from Korea, from France, from the other side of the country. We just stop remaking them, and come up with their own concepts. I know it's hard, Hollywood. I know it's hard because everything is a cliche. But if we just stop and think and stop taking elements from other horror movies bring in our own elements. We don't need, and again, I'm talking just for myself, we don't need gore. We don't need blood everywhere. We don't need nudity. We don't need teenagers in every single fucking horror movie. All we need is suspense. All I want is suspense. All I want is tension. Paranormal Activity did a very good job. I don't care if you agree with me or you don't. Paranormal Activity did a very good job of doing this. So that's why I liked it so much. So I'm going to stop it here. Leave me your thoughts. Subscribe, comment, bash me if you want. I don't care. Thank you for listening. And happy belated Halloween.